What's your favorite scary movie? Swallow this.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Arrow in the Head Show. Of course, that would make me Lance, and my partner in crime, the Arrow himself, Mr. John Fallon. John, good to see you, buddy. I like your decor, a little bit different this time.
Yeah, and it's I wish I could take credit. No, I'm at my friend's Eric Red's house today, so that's his office. Of course, Eric, did The Hitcher, Bad Moon, Conan and Tate, 100 Feet, Near Dark, Blue Steel. Actually, I don't think he'll mind if I just give it a glimpse.
Nice. Yeah, dude, but big fan. Bad Moon, man. We got to cover that someday. I love the fact that the German Shepherd's the protagonist. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that is kind of awesome. Today, we're actually going to talk about, on off the cuff, about one of my favorite 80s horror comedy, if you will, and the fact that thus far its legacy has been shoved up its ass with no lube, which is rude, by the way. You need lube. But before we get into that, what are you drinking?
I have coffee. That's what was going to be my main drink, but I was actually looking for something in the pantry, and I forgot that I brought this across the country, which is some rum that my friends and I made in an undisclosed location.
Dude, that doesn't look healthy, man.
Well, so
what the fuck?
I was aging on some walnuts to give it a flavor, and then I forgot that I had it. So it's probably a year and a half old. So I pour myself a shot in case it's poison. I figure that I'll probably live through that, and then I'm gonna drink some coffee because it's a work day and I got a lot of work to do, and I need to pep up.
Actually, take a shot right now and just a sip. I just want to see an organic reaction to.
I mean, the oil is separated, so it looks really weird, from the.
It looks like it could cure cancer, bro. Let's find out. Go ahead, come on, man up.
It's not bad.
Nice.
It's not bad. It's actually it's smooth. Not a lot of body, but so okay, cool. And we'll cheers. I'll take the whole shot. So if it does kill me, it'll be on camera. That's awesome.
Well, I'm not Mr. Fancy Pants today like you are with your prison rum or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just got a Corona, and in honor of, I was gonna make a Corona COVID-19 joke, but you know what? Fuck that shit. It's wasting enough of my fucking time. So on that note, cheers to you all. Cheers to you, my man. I can't wait to see your expression when you down that sucker. And let's talk about The Lost Boys.
Bourbon on the rocks. That'll do it.
We'll wait. I don't have a watch, but I'll pretend. We'll wait.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's not great.
We'll wait what happens. 10 minutes.
I won't drink any more. How about that? Like, that's good. This should have been probably thrown out before I left, but somehow it made it all the way out here. So
before I completely hijacked the conversation, are you a The Lost Boys fan? The original, the OG?
Yes. I rented it on VHS, a handful of times as a kid. Thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah. Big fan. I never saw the sequels because I'm of the generation of leaving on a high note, and I love this. And then when I saw sequels straight to DVD, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Feldman and other guy, or the Frog Brothers, in the OG and the two shitastic sequels, and Corey Haim, who passed on, he had a cameo, if I remember correctly, during the post-end credit scene in Lost Boys 2, The Tribe, and I think that was 2008. Which brings me to my point. I don't want, look, guys and dolls, I'm going to be honest. I love The Lost Boys, and I want to devote an entire proper Air on the Head show to The Lost Boys. So I'm not going to dive into that too deep. I want to keep it for a proper show, this off the cuff. So I just want to talk about how the fuck can a movie as iconic as The Lost Boys result in two shit sequels, one failed CW, thank God, one failed CW pilot. And this is like, Lost Boys was like, what, 1987? Nice, look at you. 1987.
I have it pulled up. I thought 85.
I figured,
actually.
dude. I figured, dude. I figured.
About 85. Yeah.
Something that was so successful, so iconic, and it took so long for them to do anything with it. Actually, ironically enough, because I'm at Eric Red's house, I was talking with him before. Him and Joel, I call him Schumacher, so I hope that's his.
No, Schumacher.
Okay, then fuck you. So him and Joel Schumacher had a prequel ready to go. They spent a year on it. Schumacher was going to produce. Eric wrote the script. I've actually read the script. We had put it up on Arrow in the Head at a certain point. Very good script. And they developed it for a year. And then after that, new execs came into the studio and kind of fucked everything up and never happened. And Eric's and Schumacher's prequel was basically set. Remember in the original where they're downstairs, with the maggots, they're not. It's rice. Yeah.
They're in the cave, the cool cave.
Yeah, which is a result of an earthquake in San Francisco, blah blah blah, a long time ago. So Eric and Schumacher's prequel was going to explore how the whole gang became vampires, how they were, turned into vampires, set around that actual earthquake.
Okay. What year were they developing this? Was it close to the
a couple of years
okay.
after the original. Good. So it was almost a go, and that was it. So then that tanked, and then it took all this time. Again, this is a fucking classic. This is a 80s pop culture classic, and it took 2008 for them to do the first crappy sequel called Lost Boys 2: The Tribe, which I've seen, unfortunately. All shot in Vancouver, and it shows. Canada, Vancouver, that is.
It's everything nowadays,
And they were clever. They tried to parallel the original. The story is similar to the original, but they had the main vampire. In the original was Kiefer Sutherland. They actually had, I didn't even know that dude existed until that movie, Angus Sutherland, who plays a vampire. Unfortunately, and no disrespect, Angus. Like, really, I'm sure you're a nice dude and all that, but he talked like he had 10 dicks in his mouth, man. The whole movie. Not 5, not 6, not 7, 10. And yeah, exactly. Well, man's got to. I'm not gonna say it. The man's got to relax.
He's always drunk, and then he beats on our kids.
Man's got to relax, right?
So didn't have the charisma, the appeal. The script was pretty much like.
How can it? Honestly, how can it?
A copy paste of the first one, with like some reversals or whatever. Who cares? I can't remember one scene other than the fact that, Sutherland, Dick's mouth. That's it. That's all I remember from it.
Book closed, huh?
Yeah, book closed. So, and of course they gave more importance to the Frog Brothers, who in the first film were side characters, Sam and David, played by Jason Patrick, or kind of like the leads. Here, the Frog Brothers are elevated. And I don't know, for me, they work better as side characters than quasi leads.
Here's the thing, though, is back in the day, because I've seen some random stuff with Mr. Feldman now in his later years, and no disrespect, because I think he was a great kid actor. He just had that vibe. There's like 10 movies I love with him in it. But something happened between them and him growing up. I mean, I know there's a lot of messed up stuff with his life, so it could be that. But I've seen things lately, and it's just like it's rough. It's rough. So even best case scenario, I can't see a sequel that many years later with nobody truly attached. Like, a sequel to this movie would have had to come out a year or two later for it to really work. Later sequels are tough to begin with. Schumacher's dead. The vibe and style. I mean, this is so 80s, and I have some notes, but to sum it up, if we're not going to get too much into it, is that this is a movie that looks like it's time, but in the most beautiful way. I just almost feel like without this sort of 80s sweeping, grandiose look, it's going to come off cheap. And again, I haven't seen anything with the second one, but I bet my life, I would bet everything I have, it looks like a shitty straight to DVD movie with digital zooms and just fucking really bland color correcting. I have that feeling. It's 2008, man. I think we had a peak. Early 90s, I think, when it came to straight to VHS movies, Band and Empire, I think, had a decent look. And then now we do. But man, the 2000s were rough. Those were rough. That looked like it was shot on like an HD camcorder in like a bathroom. And this could be it. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking shit for someone I've never seen.
Yeah, you are talking shit about something you've never seen. But with that said, you're absolutely right.
I mean, come on. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a broad target. Because you said it was bad. You told me the year, and I'm like, okay, John says it sucks. It's a bad year. We tend to agree on a lot of things. So I'm just guessing in the dark here, but yeah, right. Just real rough stuff.
It looks like exactly what you think it is. It's straight to DVD. It's kind of like the Roadhouse sequel. Yeah, it looks. Did you know there's a Roadhouse sequel?
No, because if it's not so easy, it's not Roadhouse.
No, it's not. It's shot. It's cheap. It's really capitalizing, on the IP, a bit like those shitty Hellraiser sequels. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Okay.
So the Tribe was shit. And I'm going somewhere with this, guys and dolls. And after that, they did part 3. Yes, there's a part 3. And part 3 is interesting because there's somewhat of a connection to me. You tell me, guys. So at some point, I sold a script called Trance, which a bunch of kids, they're invited to a rave. They go to a rave, and they take this pill called Trance, and it turns all of the females into psychotic killers. And there's, teenagers, it's very violent, and there's 2 cops that show up on the scene in my script anyways, because they rewrote it. And then, it's basically the 2 cops trying to get out alive, and plus the surviving teenagers also trying to get out alive. My script got bought, and it got directed by a gentleman that I won't name drop here, but you could do your research. The movie's release got frozen for a while, and I basically found out that there was some funny business going on behind the scenes. So let's just say the money that was meant to go on screen didn't go on screen and went into people's pockets. Here's the interesting thing. So the guy that directed Trance and also rewrote my script, he went on to direct Lost Boys 3. And you know what the Lost Boys 3 is about? A bunch of kids go to a rave, and they take a drug, and it turns them into vampires. And we have the 2 frog butters that show up to try to, kill everything and so
get out alive.
Yeah. So when that happened, I actually emailed the dude that directed Trance and directed Lost Boys 3, and I'm like, bro, you just ripped me off, man. No, I didn't. Went back and forth, whatever. I let it go, but that was a ripoff. He ripped me off. So, sir, you know who you are. You ripped me off. I see you.
Film industry, man.
It's gonna go down.
Good.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, Lost Boys 3 came out. Also, not a very good film. They totally missed the mark in terms of capitalizing on what made the original successful. And that made it work. Kind of like The Hitcher. The Hitcher 2 came out at some point, also missed the boat. The Hitcher remake also missed the boat as to what made the original work. And Lost Boys, they keep doing the same mistake. So then, next thing you know, CW wants to do a TV series of it. They shot a pilot. Thankfully, it got shut down because CW.
I mean, yeah, CW is like it's soap operas for teenagers, basically.
Yeah. So we dodged a bullet there. So which brings me to, it's time for us to have a legit Lost Boys sequel / soft reboot, if you will. And you know why it's time? I'll tell you why it's time. Stranger Things. The 80s are hot.
I guess that's the way to really go about it, honestly. I'm in that line though, man, where it's like, yes, but how?
I'll tell you how. It's really simple.
Okay.
Set it in the 80s. Set it in the 80s. Number one. That's number one. Put all the great 80s music that you love in it. Like, oh wait, you like the song "Cry Little Sister"?
What song is that? Probably not. I actually wrote down. I like one song in this movie. I Still Believe. I like that song.
Yeah, great song. But
yeah.
"Cry Little Sister" is the kind of like the theme song of the Lost Boys. Cry little sister, thou shalt
Probably not. I think the score's great. The score's great. And you want to give me a nice tenor sax? I'm down, dude. I'm down. I Still Believe. Statistically, I should hate that song. Because there's parts of that it's like it gets a little close. But then the guy comes out and just rocks out the sax. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I got to throw a horn section or something. I love it. I mean, the score is great. I don't remember any of the music liking it, but that one song. But it's really 80s. It's like 87. Everybody looks like metalheads. I mean, the look is,
Sometimes you blow my mind, dude. But anyways, bring back 80s music.
Make it 80s. You're saying make it 80s.
Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't have it be a direct sequel to the first one. Too much time has passed, but kind of like it could acknowledge the first one in some way because all the
world.
Well, yeah, all the vampires died, in the first one. So it's not like you could bring them back, but have some a soft reboot, kind of have a connection, kind of like what The Exorcist reboot they're going to do right now. Yeah. It's a reboot, but they acknowledge the OG. They bring back characters from the OG. So, saxophone dude should come back. Definitely. He's still fucking rocking out there. Man. No,
it's like the cameos. I know. I'm like,
yeah, it's his claim to fame, man. Those tight jeans. And of course he owns it. All oiled up like a fucking turkey, basking in a fucking oven or whatever. Good shit. It makes complete sense. Complete sense.
Does it?
Yeah. Huh? Oh yeah, it does. It does. That's part of the magic of the Lost Boys. You see, the Lost Boys 2, Lost Boys 3, they're just like cheap horror movies that use the IP. They didn't even try to include the elements that make the OG Lost Boys so special. So they just, what a waste. What a waste. So, I guess that's pretty much it. I really wanted to talk to you about this because it's time, man. It's time to get a proper Lost Boys follow-up, made 80s style with a connection to the OG and pump some money into it. I did hear that WB was in 2020, I think. Excuse me, Corona. We're talking about a remake, but I haven't heard shit since.
We would need it now, though. Like we would need it really soon because I'm going to argue that I think we're past the cusp, and very soon it's going to be 90s nostalgia because there's always that 30-year itch is what they call it. So we're getting past 80, so they need to get on this. I actually agree though because Gramp at the very end says the best line in the movie. The one thing living in Santa Carla I never cared for, all the damn vampires, and it's like okay. There's more than the 4 that he killed. You know what I'm saying? He makes it seem like it's like mosquitoes. Like, it's fucking vampires. So yes, Santa in Santa Carla. I agree the 80s. I agree completely because this is a time and place movie. The fashion, the score, the directing, those gorgeous lens flares. You need that shit. Don't be shooting this in no fucking flat, cute little digital camera. I mean, if you're not saying digital's bad, but if you are, get a Red Go scope. I want this to be pretty,
yeah. But you have to. And guys and dolls, comments below, let us know if you agree with me. It has to be set in the 80s. I don't want an updated version like they did with, the 2 shitastic sequels.
Or like Fright Night.
Yeah.
But, that belongs in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. It needs to be set in the 80s. Otherwise, I don't want it. I don't want an updated version. I don't want vampires with fucking iPhones. I don't want that shit. I don't want the whole score to be hip hop, although I enjoy some hip hop by the way, but it seems that's the only music now. So, I don't want that shit.
Saxophone players and you want some synth. You want some of that keyboard synth.
Yes. Actually, I turn him into a vampire. That'd be interesting.
Oh, that'd be a cool little addition. Yeah. He's some old guy playing you see in Frenchman Street in New Orleans. Only he's playing the sax and he gets bitten, and he's a monster. Yeah,
and then he's fucking swinging those hips like a champion. What a fucking legend, man. So look, that's pretty much it, guys and dolls. One, you love the Lost Boys as much as I do, and you like the movie, right?
The Lost Boys?
Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. I'd put it top 5 vampire movies I've read.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
1, you love the Lost Boys like we do. 2, do you think it's time for a soft reboot / sequel? 3, you agree with Lance and I that it should be set in the 80s. 4, should Saxophone Boy come back? Fuck yeah. And 5, do we want more Lance with his shirt unbuttoned? Because this is getting a little too PG for me, man. I had the baby oil over here. and the nipple clamps over there.
I gotta
show
switch it up,
up,
man. I
and
gotta
you're
switch
like
it up. I gotta
some
switch it up.
fucking t-shirt, man. Not cool. Not cool.
It's a t-shirt. I'm dressed. It's a work day.
It's a work day. So that's it, man. Sink your fangs into the comment below. See what I did there, and let us know. That's it.
Yeah. I'll see you guys soon, and hopefully sooner or later we will do all of a Lost Boys video, because I'd like to talk about
definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm actually kind of pumped to watch it again, because it's just a fun movie. Just a fun movie, man. And go listen to Cry Little Sister. The fact you don't even know what that song is a little bit embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing. But,
I mean, okay, can I ask you, what are the odds I'm going to like the song? I mean, I probably know it if I heard it, but I'm just saying.
Oh no, you're probably not going to like it, but it's the Lost Boys song, and the fact you don't know it, it puts me in a weird place. Yeah,
I would argue I still believe is the Lost Boys song. I mean, if somebody says Lost Boys, if you're not half thinking of an oiled up man playing the fucking sax, I don't have to tell you. It's like, I really like that. It's like, it's a vampire movie and they got the sax, right? And it's like, yeah, Lost Boys.
Just listen. Just go listen to it. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, my man. Looking forward to busting your balls next time.
I'll see you soon, guys.